Yo, big up, Wagwan, Y Pre, where you deal with, where you depend, up top blessings. We're there back again with another one. And we have a guest today from the JA Dugout. Reynolds, what you say to me, bro?
Yo, I'm here. Not being so great in terms of football, but I'm good personally.
So
So
life are going good.
yeah, life are going good. Life are going good.
All
Yeah.
right, that's good. People viewing at home, check up on your friends who support Chelsea. It's a rough time right now, and you might need to be there for them. Laugh off of them after the match, but then like the next day you might want to check up on them like for real, for real. You get me? I say. But before we get into the meat of the matter in the conversation, don't forget to continue to like the videos and subscribe as well. The support recently has been absolutely amazing, and I really do appreciate every single one of it. The comments as well. This one, not getting it live, but leaving the comments under the video. I want to know your guys' thoughts on everything that we speak about today. Leave me them down in the comments. I'll try to reply to as much of them as possible. And don't forget, subscribe to the JA Dugout as well. The link for all of the lazy people is in the description. So it's the second link in the description, I believe, all the way down to the end. And if you don't want it that way there, you can type it into YouTube, DJA Dugout, just like it is spelled right here. Now, we have our resident Chelsea fan here, or the main featuring Chelsea fan at least. And as you guys see in the title, this is the first question I have to start with. Pochettino, how happy are you with his start? Because for me, Pochettino is on fraud watch as of right now.
As of right now, I'm not worried because I wouldn't call him on fraud watch. The season just started, and he just started his Chelsea career. I never expected him to really be out like challenging like just so quickly. Especially with us bringing in a lot of players and the players having to come together and gel, and us also experiencing a lot of injuries. We have to keep that in mind that Chelsea has a lot of injuries right
That's
now,
fair.
a lot. We have currently we have Nkunku out, who Pochettino was geared up and ready to play since the start of the season. He was expected to
Clearly,
play Nkunku. Like
clearly,
that. He was a, a very significant part of Pochettino's plan going on towards the season, but unfortunately got injured with a long-term injury and be out for months. Also, Reece James injured again,
Mhm.
and with injuries happening, can be hard for a team to gel and balance because players coming in and out of the team. Also, Chukwumeka is injured. Um,
Bad man.
he was also expected to play to get game time, and now we have to be going towards other players to be covering for him. Badia Shield was injured since the start of the season. He was one of our best performing centre backs last season. Colwell is coming into the team, and to get him time to take him time to gel. So it's a lot of different factors. And I think this season will be obviously. I don't want this season. We don't expect any bottom half finishing. We don't expect any like
Really?
challenging with Aston Villa and that stuff. We expect to be going up for the top four. But sometimes you have to be realistic and think about say to yourself, maybe that may not be viable that easily because there's a lot of factors happening. And you have to be realistic about the players coming in and getting to learn how to play with each other. And I can see it in the style of play from Pochettino because he actually likes Chelsea, like Sterling being given the freedom, the players being given freedom to dribble and to go on. It's just for us to be finishing our chances, and that's been something that's been plaguing us for the past 3 seasons or so. Chances, chances, chances. Us having all Jackson having so many runs, having us having how many amount of shots, expected goals, all of that, but not scoring goals. So it's something where we are making chances, but we should be finishing the chances. And you cannot say that it's Pochettino's fault that we're not finishing the chances if we are making the chances. That shows that the tactics are in the right position to be able to make the chances. But you cannot the manager cannot finish the chances. Tactics can bring you to
True.
that position, but the players, you'll need the players to have the end product. So for me, I'm not having on a fraud watch right now. If it comes to a point where we're constantly losing, then I
Like
have
Potter
to,
last season.
yeah, then when I have to put him on fraud watch because, and if he's a point where one tactic is not working and he keeps on doing tactic and he's showing signs of being stubborn in tactics, then yes, then we'll have him on fraud watch. But right now, I'm not that quick to be reactionary about
Good
Pochettino.
thing I said that. Let me just interject right there. I might some of my takes, I admit, might be a bit reactionary sometimes. This I don't necessarily think is one of those takes. I'm gonna explain why. For me, the basis of fraud watch, I'm not saying that he is a fraud, but based on the results so far and the decisions that are being made so far, I think it's very sus. That's why I'm keeping a close eye on him to see how the next couple of games, particularly the next month of games, goes for him and the
Which
decisions he's making at that point in time.
which decisions has he been? Which decisions has he been making that's made you suspicious or
I'm glad you asked. Levi Colwill, bad man. Is he a left back though? He's played on the left side of a back three, and he's played left-sided centre back. But is he a left back? Not sure. Is he? I wonder if I'm gonna try to do that Pep Guardiola thing there, because we do that with Nathan Ake last season. He's played left back in a four, and he's also played left-sided centre back in a three. But
I've mainly seen Colwell played on the left side, centre back in terms of the back three, because since the start of the season, Pochettino has played mostly a back three, where Chilwell has been the wing back and been
that's the
attacking.
next thing I was going to say. It doesn't, for me, anyways. It doesn't look like that to me. I hear a lot of Chelsea supporters speaking on it as well, and I have to agree. It looks to me like Chilwell is playing in a left winger position, and because he's a wing back, traditionally he'll slump further down the pitch on that left hand side, and it will seem like you guys have two fouls. But traditionally, it's in preseason and with Pochettino in general, he works with a 4-3-3 system. And when you see the wingers coming down and they're going up ahead with Colwill instead of what's his name, Ben Chilwell, it makes me think that's a particular role he was going for. Even what's it, Thiago Silva came out one time and said we are playing in a back four because people were criticizing him and saying that he is the reason why you guys are playing in a back three to accommodate him. And he was saying, no, that's not the case. We are playing in a back four system. Regardless, that ghost
Yes.
winger or false winger thing he might try up on the left hand side, it
Based
not work.
based on my observations, we sometimes play in a back four, but a lot of the times play in a back three. So,
Chelsea traditionally, yeah. But like you said,
but
Pochettino just reached
yeah, but right now, sometimes at times the tactics will change into a back four,
in game. Okay.
but at times, like especially when we're attacking, we will be in a back three. So it's like how do you say, attacking like a back three, defending as a back four, something similar to that,
Or
or no,
you
defending as
mean
a back five,
attacking as a back four, defending as a back three.
defending as like a like as five, like as a back three with the wingers, the
Yeah,
wing
the wing
backs
backs.
supporting to be like
Yeah, yeah,
extra.
yeah, yeah. That's why I said defending like a back
But
three, back five, but attacking like a back
it,
four.
the reason for Colwell is there on the left as a cover for Chilwell, because when Chilwell is attacking, Colwell is there and Colwell can
Over in the
step
space.
over into like the left back position.
Mm-hmm.
So um it's definitely because Chilwell definitely can finish. He can finish. He can shoot and he
Look,
can finish.
I've seen Chilwell score goals for Chelsea. So I'm not here to say that he doesn't have that in his game, but let's be real, bro. There's a big difference between left winger and left wing back. I wouldn't say, yo, we need a left winger. Go get Ait Nouri from Wolves and come play him on the wing. Similarly, Pep Guardiola last season tried in one or two games playing Cancelo on the right wing when time we were in a bit of a right wing crisis when Cancelo was still here. And that resulted in him getting so substituted at halftime.
The thing is though,
So
Cancelo
sometimes it,
was
it works less often than it does.
Cancelo was more like a midfielder to me because he was a lot of the times more mainly in the midfield
Mainly
for
attacking, right? So
yeah.
the thing is with Cancelo is a lot like Trent. We know defensively where I will get from them. You have to cover for them, you have to support them, but you can't deny the talent where them have going forward and going further up the pitch. Cancelo is a player who he was so good on the ball technically that he could drift into midfield areas, but a lot of the time you would see him linking up with the wingers as well down the flank, right? And even though he was so good at attacking, it still didn't work for him as a winger because how you approach the game as a defensive minded player or from defensive positions as an attack minded player is different from actually being an out and out winger. I think like it's a bit weird. It's almost like aside from Thiago, is either Colwell or Chilwell I get forced into the lineup because for me, if you say you take out Colwell and you have Disasi and Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell as left back, and then you have even a Modric, the team are gonna look a bit more balanced. Right now, I don't really know what I wanna try to because say
This is
where
another
they
one.
established well I know where they established Chilwell slumping back a little bit naturally, right? Or starting from a deeper position when you're not attack. Who else is going to assist him on that side? Gallagher, Enzo, who's supposed to be the 10 at the same time. Like it just seemed like a mishmash of tactics.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Um, but you see, Enzo Chukwumeka was on the left side of the midfield
Mm.
before. When you see the goal that Chukwumeka scored
What's
against West Ham, he was on the left side.
Yeah,
So and
good
Enzo
goal
didn't
that
have to
too.
be over the left side when Chukwumeka was there. But it's where we're adjusting tactics, and one player is out, you have to adjust tactics for that.
Yeah,
And obviously, we don't want Enzo Fernandez being on the left side. I want him to be in the middle. I mean, Enzo can roam. Like, let's be honest. I don't really care where Enzo is because I want him to roam and to be able to pick out passes, doing some quarterback type passes. Because
mm.
Enzo can pass from anywhere. So, but support like Chukwumeka has that in him to attack and to also it's like a box to box. He can attack, also support deeper down. So um I understand your point in Chilwell, because I've seen points about if Chilwell is being played as a winger, and Pochettino says no, because people are saying like, why don't we play Chilwell as a winger, like just an out and out winger? Pochettino is saying no, he won't, and trust me, like Chilwell or Mudrik, bro. As of right now, obviously I pick Chilwell if it's a winger, but we need to allow Mudrik the time to develop.
Sorry,
Mudrik,
repeat that. You said Chilwell or Modric. Your decision would be who?
Chilwell. I trust Chilwell more than not just Mudrik.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like I've seen Mudrik and his touches,
You
and
know what I will say
like
though?
he's faster. He seems like he's faster than
Mm-hmm.
he runs faster than his decision making.
Ukraine Bolt. The funny thing about Mudrik, right? I've seen arguments on his perspective where people are saying that since he's been at Chelsea from January last year, he started like 2 games. That is, you can't call that giving him a chance. I
Exactly.
know that he's had injuries in between those times as well, But there does come a time, and to personally, me really rate and give Ten Hag him respect for this. But when he came into Manchester United, anybody looking from a mile away could have tell what certain players were about. And then you also have some players where you're not really sure what them can bring. Maybe them never did a perform because of the previous system, and then I could probably still get some sort of value out of them, right?
Hmm.
He gave everybody a chance to show him within the first couple of games of the season what they can contribute to his project. Now, as I know, the first two matches them never work. So as a consequence to him doing that, him sacrifice games as well, just for kind of set in stone who are gonna stay, who am I gonna get rid of, who in them long term plans and all them stuff there, right?
Hmm.
Now, I think Pochettino owes Mudrik at least that. Like you can already say, he's not your signing, he's not a part of your plans, you don't want to use him. But in a situation like this, out of 4 games, you have one win against a team that is currently at the bottom of the league. You can't really say that he's had a good start to the season. There comes a point in time where you kind of have to roll the dice and give him a start, or at least ample time for come affect a game. And then if him don't do the business, or it's below standard, then say, all right, well, you get your chance. It never works, so we're moving on to the next option. I think Mudrik at least deserved that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, we need to give him the time to make mistakes and to iron out those mistakes. But it's also a balance of giving Modric the time, but also Chelsea needing to win.
Right.
Because,
Yeah. And
yeah,
and that was not just for Mudrik, by the way, because like just not chill, basically, just not. Spend so much money upon wingers recently, and I'm not going at the money spent thing right now, but have a lot of attacking players and wingers at the club. Why is Chilwell the first option as soon as Nkunku and Chukwemeka are out? That's my real question to you now.
um, I think we have to we have to go to does Pochettino think of the players in training that are in does he think that they are ready? 'Cause I'm not sure if he thinks that they're ready. Like Moreira, Diego Moreira, does he think that he is ready? Because that's one of the players we purchased. We also purchased David Washington recently. Um, so different midfielders, wingers, they are young,
True.
and that's one thing that, yeah, they need experience. Like, experience comes a lot. It comes a long way. So, just for example, Doku versus Mudrik. Doku is young. He's younger than Mudrik by a year, but he has fair experience in Europe, where he's been in playing in European competitions. He's been playing in was it Belgium? Was
Yeah, he plays for Belgium.
but where was Doku before? He was playing at
Oh, is a club team. Oh, he was playing at Rennes in France.
or you used to play at Anderlecht first. Yeah, he used to play at Anderlecht first before going to Rennes. And see, he started at Anderlecht 2018, senior career 2018 2020, and then Rennes 2020 2020. So he's had a lot of experience playing senior games. With Modric now, Modric kind of burst onto the scenes in the Champions League that year. I know he was playing at Shakhtar, and with Shakhtar and the whole thing that's happening there in Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to have efficient games, efficient league games, and so on. So it comes to the level of competition, because when we were looking for Modric, I didn't really know. Like, I didn't really. It wasn't a signing I wanted. Really, he has promise. He definitely has promise, but he's raw. His talent is very raw and untethered, where he needs to develop a lot of it. And just spending that money just for it's like we spent money for flashes of brilliance, but I'm not really impressed. I'm not really impressed because I know that as a football player, he just seems to rush a lot of his decisions. He doesn't seem like he's not confident because he definitely seems like he has the vigor and the mindset to continue playing without making any poor performances hit
affecting.
him. Yeah, but it's just I've seen him some misses I've seen him miss. Some shots I've seen him miss seem harder to miss than to score.
Can I step in right there? Um, so I'm looking right here, right? He's played 29 games or made 29 appearances for Shakhtar. He's been on loan twice and got 10 games at each club, no goals. At Chelsea, made 18 appearances, no goals, and in those 29 games for Shakhtar Donetsk, he has 9 goals. Additionally, for Ukraine, 13 games, no goals. What I saw of Mudryk playing for Shakhtar, which I have to admit was not a lot. I saw clips, but I do remember, I think it was 2 years ago. Shakhtar was in the same group as Real Madrid in the Champions League. And in that group stage, I remember, I think he scored and assisted in that group. And they were good performances from him. Obviously, he was one of Shakhtar's key players while he was there. I'm sure amongst all of those teams that he's played at, he also has a number of assists. I think it's really like one assist I can recall him having for Chelsea since he's been there. It seems like nothing is coming off for him. Two assists, fair enough. Especially for the lack of game time we have. But even even in that case, like when he's shooting, like you said, it's like you mentioned that he doesn't. He seems like he has a lot of confidence. When he's shooting, I don't see it. It's like it gone straight through the window for him. Yeah,
Is that confidence though, or is that lack of quality?
technique, ability,
Yeah,
probably that is the case. But again, I've seen him set up attacks. I've seen him look. For me, his pace wasn't even the most devastating thing or my favorite attribute for him when I saw him. That little bit I saw of him, it was his technique and ability on the ball. His dribbling. I don't even see that right now at Chelsea. It's like a different player. And it's like since he moved to Chelsea, somebody a play FIFA and them just buck him pace and just drop everything else, bro. It's like you forget to do everything but run fast. I don't understand. And Pochettino is a manager who, from me as well, gets a lot of praise for work he's done in the past regarding to developing talents and young players. So a player like Mudryk, who has shown that he has hit those levels in the past, you get the play though in your hand now at Chelsea. You're just bench him, don't even try with him. Like try improve him. This is your bread and butter right now. You have a team of young players. I understand the need to mix experience with that. But when you got the opportunity in the transfer market, you opted for more young players. So for me, at the end of this window, I'm assuming, especially since I don't think Todd Bowley go withhold the bag from him, you get the tools that you ask for. That's what I assume, right? Now, something has to come out of this. You mentioned a top four, a top five finish since it's top five this year in the Premier League. You mentioned that is the standard Chelsea fans are wanting. I think you definitely need to be hitting that. I said earlier, I had Iman on the channel for a brief cameo. Um, he said that they should be challenging, and I agree with him. They should be challenging, but given your current situation, I don't expect you to challenge. And it's his
yeah,
first year,
definitely.
the players are all new. It's a whole new group coming
Bro,
together. There needs to be some consistency. But under other circumstances, different clubs are expected to challenge under these situations.
bro. When you see, when I look on teams, you can see the teams that have their stuff together. I can see Manchester City, even though they went behind, they still seemed like they were not in any panic. There were moments where West Ham almost got you, and some great saves were made. But there are also great saves made by Areola. So
Yeah.
Man, and Haaland missed a lot of chances as well. So the game
Yeah.
could have been even more in Man
Well,
City's favor.
he missed two chances. The others were saved by the goalkeeper, but yeah.
Yeah, but some easy chances he missed.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Both of them, definitely, at least, especially the second one, he have to score that. Like, no excuse for miss that. But yeah, I get your point.
but the thing is, Haaland can afford to miss them because he'll score anyways. He'll still
And
end
we'll
up
keep
scoring.
creating for him.
Hmm?
And the team will keep creating for him.
Exactly. And Manchester City never looked like they were afraid of going behind. When I see Chelsea go behind,
Every
I
head
think to
drop.
myself, do we have the ability to keep our head in the game and to equalize and to go on to come back from going behind? I'm not that confident. Like if like as a like to bet, if I were to bet on two games, Manchester City going behind 1-0 versus Chelsea going behind 1-0, I would put my money on Manchester City to come back. Manchester City against Man City against a team in the Premier League against West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Put my money on Man City to come back without doubt. I'd probably like I wouldn't be worrying putting my money on Manchester City to come back. Chelsea right now, I would think twice, thrice, four times, five times, bro. Amount of times I would think so much until I wouldn't even do the bet because I wouldn't mind. I don't want to be risking my money for that. So it shows me Man City is more structured right now as a team.
There is definitely a difference in mentality. Like
Yeah.
outside of Thiago Silva, I worry for the mentality in your team, genuinely. For me, Sterling, unfortunately, it might not be one of them players there, but he need to take up more of a leadership role within that squad because of the situation. Like
Mm.
there are a bunch of young players around him, and in regards to Poch's preferred starting level so far, it's really just him and Thiago Silva alone above 25, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So like, come on, man, it's step up and inject that mentality in the team. You're the only Premier League winner in the entire squad. And you supposed to know Sterling is a baller where me rate very highly. So I'm not saying this with any like ill intent towards him. Yes, leadership wise, because in terms of performances, I do think he's one of the better players this season, and not much Chelsea fans can argue with that. But leadership wise, for me, he need to step up, drag the players on to victories. Like tell them the moment him see the head start to drop, tell them, yo, bad man, get the match still a go on 90 minutes, lift up back your head. Against Nottingham Forest, you needed that. What was that? 60 something minutes them score and another nothing after that.
We should have. The thing is, we should have scored. We missed a chance. We had different, but I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see what will happen against Bournemouth tomorrow.
So am
Uh,
I.
I'm very, I'm very intrigued. I'm really looking forward to it because I want to see how we play as a team. And it's sad that we don't have Europe to really have the team play more games to come together. I
One
think
game a
about
week not really look like so much of a blessing right now, right?
exactly no,
But
because
well, I do want to ask you though before I forget again, and he mentioned it a little bit just now, but let me just say explicitly, this the time I'm recording right now is on Saturday after Manchester City played West Ham. Tomorrow on Sunday, Chelsea will play Bournemouth, and you will probably get this video on Monday, the 18th. So that's a bit of the time frame that's going on. I do want to
prediction.
ask you, huh?
Where
Prediction for Chelsea Bournemouth. Well,
yeah,
yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I do want to ask you though, and this is a player again. I have a lot of time for because I really like this player. But when the news broke and I checked my phone and I saw it, I remember saying to one of my friends, no, not selling him, to, especially not to you. But if you bid like a 40, 40 million, we can initiate conversations. You see, you probably guess by now the player that I'm referring to is Cole Palmer. But what are your thoughts on the Cole Palmer deal to Chelsea?
Bro, I've no, that was something that came out of the blue for me. That's something that I didn't expect. I didn't know why we were pursuing Cole Palmer because it just seems as if I don't know who is in the back room at Chelsea where we just get players and say, all right, let's buy that. Let's just buy that player. Like FIFA. It's like,
Bro, I'm sure you know who.
are they
I'm
playing
sure you know who.
FIFA? And I have no. It doesn't. If Pep doesn't want Cole Palmer, right? I mean, Pep plays him, but not as like a starter every year,
He's
every
not
week.
a key player in the squad, but I think it's very unfair to say Pep did not want Cole Palmer because he said that he wanted him to stay.
But he said that either they'll sell him, or he'll stay, or they'll sell him.
Yeah, he said loaning doesn't seem to be an option for him. And he also said that if he leaves, we won't be replacing him, which we technically didn't. So how you want to take it is up to you. But we saw what he did in the Super Cup. We saw what he did in the Community Shield in terms of impact off the bench. He definitely would have had a role in the squad this season, especially right now where we are going through a little bit of an injury crisis ourselves. Not as much as you guys, because last time I heard you guys had like 9 injuries, which is mental. But we have our 4 injuries to very key players in our squad as well. I'm sure he would have gotten game time if he was still here, at least coming off the bench. But
Mm.
I'm not sure how much you would have seen of Cole Palmer. If you want my opinion, Anima can give you that. But what are you expecting him to bring to Chelsea this season? And do you think there will be value in this move, this 45 million pound move, 2, 3, 4 years down the line?
Um, I think there will be value to it.
You know
I
what?
don't think he's a bad player. I think he has technical ability.
Let me retract that statement. Do you think he'll be valuable to the team this season? That's the real question I want answered.
Hmm. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how big of an impact because he's somebody who's inexperienced. So for him to be taking up the leadership, like, I don't see him be like taking up Chelsea and bringing us. Like no, not no.
Mm. You, you don't think he's a level raiser?
Pardon me.
You don't think he's a level raiser, like him raise the level of your whole team
Yeah,
by
no, no,
coming
no,
in?
no, 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 no.
What
But
I
he
yes,
has the ability to pick passes. I think. It's I have to see more of him to have more faith in him. I won't put him down
understandable.
right now, but I just did not see the reason for us targeting Cole Palmer when I think we could have spent that money on a more experienced player.
Yeah. According to the reports, I think Kudus was ahead of him in terms of the targets, but he preferred a move to West Ham. Which I have to say, that is a bit embarrassing for Chelsea. A club of your stature and always going about the 2 Champions Leagues and all of that.
I
Which
mean,
fair enough,
not
but
really embarrassing because
where's
players
the pull?
players
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying like with the West Ham project is not good, and I'm not saying he'll get better development there than at
no
Chelsea.
players
But
choose other clubs because of game time commitment. Of course, Kudus would prefer West Ham because he'll know that he'll play there every week.
right now, as a winger, Kudus is twice as effective than where I get from Ben Chilwell, bro. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think in this version of Chelsea, probably even when players come back fit, I think Kudus is an undisputed starter for you. I think because for me, I've seen him play for Ajax across the front three and in camp. Yeah, how much he's played all those positions, I'm not sure, but I think you could potentially set up with Kudus on the left, Sterling on the right, and Nkunku in the middle. Or you swap Nkunku and Kudus, and it probably still would have worked. So
yeah. Honestly, um, though I think Nicholas Jackson and Nkunku has a good relationship in terms of playing together. Though
Fair. Before we
So
move on from Cole Palmer, my advice to Pochettino as well, I think give him a chance on that left hand side. You never know. As I said, like if you don't like how it look or you want to change it after one game, fine. But I think see how him look out there in an extended run, and maybe you can actually find a gem right there you never expect. City fans I've heard made the statement that he's not really played on the left too much. I've seen him play on the left, or at least in periods in the game, he'll start on the right and then end up on that left hand side more often than a lot of people think. And
who?
even against Chelsea, Cole Palmer, even against Chelsea last season, he started on the left hand side and he was the one that assisted that pass to Julian Alvarez, who scored the only goal of the game. So keeping those things in mind, I think there's some value there. I think that's something that he might want to look at and explore. And I heard you touch on Nico Jackson earlier. I have another question in regards to him. What is the difference so far between Nico Jackson and João Felix? Please let me know because I can't see it.
I think a better comparison between Nico Jackson is Timo Werner, not Joao Felix. I think Felix
Why?
never had the pace like Nico Jackson. Felix never had the pace and strength like Nico Jackson. And Felix never made the runs like Nico Jackson. So I think the better comparison is actually Timo Werner. Felix was more technical in terms of being able to. He wasn't the same player like Nico Jackson is. Felix could pass, but he wasn't like a clinical striker like that either. So I think Jackson. I think he's not like he definitely could have scored some goals, right? But all strikers miss chances. Definitely not seeing him. He's similar to Timo Werner in terms of being able to run, but he's definitely more. I think he's probably faster and more power to his to him as well. I think um, against Liverpool we had a chance at the end where it went to Modric, and it was Jackson who initiated the chance. And I think if it was Modric who initiated and passed to Jackson, I think he would have scored that. Modric didn't score. Um, Jackson, I've seen a lot of promising performances by Jackson in terms of him being able to beat players confidently, run like dribble the ball and hit past the player and confidently beat them. It's just now that we need more players supporting him in those runs to make good runs along with him to be able to finish because it doesn't make sense for him to always be running and there's no player there to
Mm,
support him in terms of passing the ball. You saw I think Kyle Walker it was who had the ball today against West Ham. Got the ball. I think it's Kyle Walker. Bernardo was it that passed it to him and he ran and he passed it into Haaland. Haaland did that one touch shot that was saved.
yeah, that was
And
Kyle
then,
Walker passing it. Yeah.
so when we see players running, making runs, would I want to see players supporting them just in case, like giving them another option to pass it to. Because if Nico Jackson is running, I want somebody to be there that he can square the ball to. Like he can have two options. Him give the goalkeeper something to worry about. Give the goalkeeper something to worry about where the goalkeeper was worried that he'll pass it in, and the goalkeeper worrying that he'll square the ball might free up the near post, giving him more room to shoot at.
I hear you, man. I hear you, man. I hear you.
And also them worrying about him shooting might free up the player in the box for him to pass it to. So I need to see more supporting runs along with Nico Jackson because I don't think he can do it by himself where he's just running, 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 running.
Mm.
So
Before I forget, because you say a lot of things I want to make a point pan, and before I forget, I want to start with the initial question, the difference between Nico Jackson and João Felix.
and I
I
said
found
need
it.
more.
No, no,
powerful.
no. I heard your response. I'm just giving you my response to what you said.
Mm.
For me, I still compare more to Joao Felix than a Timo Werner. Timo Werner's like selling point was not really his link up play. That is it for Nico Jackson though. His main attribute, because for me, I thought during preseason looking at him, he looks like a really good false nine. In that type of system, that type of player though, the players they want around him are finishers. Already established, Sterling is not a clinical player. Whoever you have on the left hand side is not clinical either. The dopey we have over there. And Nico Jackson, so far, is not proving himself to be a clinical player either. The sample size is small. Yes, I do want to keep mentioning that. But I remember you make a point about Mudrik being in a position where Jackson would have more than likely scored. Bro, I saw something on par with Sterling versus Leon in the Champions League from Nico Jackson a couple games ago, where Sterling was dribbling down the right hand side, got to the byline, cut it back, and it got right in front of Nico Jackson. And him
Uh,
flat footed in the box. And as a
I don't
striker,
think I don't
that
think
is
that pass was
criminal.
for him. The pass
Where
was
was
harder.
there?
It was him. He passed. He went in front of Jackson, and it went to Chukwumeka, and Chukwumeka fluffed his lines.
May I be honest
But
with you, Reynolds?
the
That
ball was
pass
hit
was for
harder.
Jackson. I've
Huh?
seen Sterling do that exact same thing for Manchester City and Aguero there. Yeah, the ball are coming with power, change the direction, convert it, bam, slamming at the net. So many times. And not even Sterling. Like it's cutting the ball back like that. You need to be the one running onto the ball right there. For me, like I watch that the replay upon that because I don't really like criticize players and like unfairly, right? Him was flat footed. It never looked like him expect Sterling to keep the ball in play or to keep the ball away from the defenders. But him do both, and after I move the ball across the box, that's when time Jackson actually try to react to it. But it's already too late. You never gonna get to the ball by that point. When you actually see it, when the ball reach in front time, it does seem kind of like a bit of a misplaced pass. But Sterling, who didn't even look up to him, played the ball into a dangerous area, and that is exactly what you're supposed to do. As a striker, you should be a poacher as well and anticipate that, you know what, the ball might not come to my feet directly, but anywhere in this area, the ball might end up. And for me, that's my problem with a lot of players who are actually like playmaking forwards. They want the ball to feet, and a lot of the times, like for a player like me give an example. For a player like Callum Wilson, one of them man they look on as like a number nine, a out and out striker. A lot of the times when he might receive the ball, or even Antonio, a lot of the times when he might receive the ball, it's a through ball and they might run on to it. All right, the ball I get played into space. You know, usually see them like a Nico Jackson getting the ball at them feet and then dribbling by players. I'm going feel like inside the box, that causes him for like that little bit of cutting edge because he's expecting the ball to feed majority of the time. That's what I saw looking at that particular play. But
Uh,
before you go, you also mentioned that you never really see the comparison between Nico Jackson and Felix. But then when you start explaining what Felix did, it sounds exactly like when we hear Chelsea fans talk about them get from Nico Jackson. Felix is a good dribbler. He's really good on the ball. Me hear say him need more people to link up with him because the problem was that Havertz and them man they never at the level, so like him never really have any supporting cast.
yeah,
Like
Felix is a dribbler that dribbles the ball close. Like he's a difference between the dribblers. You have a dribbler like Mbappe, and then you have a dribbler like Messi. Messi will dribble the ball close to his feet. Mbappe is more, he utilizes his pace a lot. So Nico Jackson utilizes his pace a lot, which is different from Felix. And he will use his pace to outrun his runs to make space for other people. And with Felix never really did that in terms of making space. Because I think Felix lacks something, because I saw with him in multiple games we played, especially even against Madrid, where he get the ball. And as a striker, a defender coming in, you should take the ball across the defender to either force a foul or to get closer, like get a more clear view of the goal. But Felix kept the ball over the right side. He was get the ball to the right side and allow the Real Madrid defender to close the angle and come to the goals side of him instead of taking it across the defender. Like instead of getting it and taking it across the defender, Felix took the ball and went over that side and allowed the defender to come to him like that.
Mm.
He Jackson will beat the defender for me, and I'm saying compare him to Timo Werner more because I saw that in terms of Timo Werner.
How we
Um,
make use of him pace, yeah.
as
I start to see that comparison the way I talk about.
he freed up Havertz in Champions League final in terms of I think he made a run that caused I don't remember who it was who tracked Werner, but freed up Havertz in the meanwhile, allowing space for Havertz to get the ball. So Jackson, he I think he's definitely more clinical than Timo. I think he has more than
Yeah.
Timo.
I I mean, it's not really much to base it on so far, but given Timo's Chelsea farm, I'll give you that.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I rather Chelsea would have sold Havertz than Timo initially, though.
Mm. But the comparison or the point of the
Right.
comparison I was making between Nico Jackson and Felix was mainly that on the eye, them look good. Them look, decent. Them look like them can offer something for the team. But when you actually look on it, you look on the sample size for Felix more so than Nico Jackson, but the effectiveness is my issue. In game, them not really seem to be effective. Those cutting edge moments, them not really seem like the guys for that. Like in that situation where Sterling passed the ball to him, I think that was against West Ham, and I think that would have been a goal to give Chelsea the lead in that particular game. So it's a big missed opportunity that because one could have argued that if that was Nkunku, for example, boom, 2-1. And that's a whole different game now. And we might have talked about a completely different result as well. So them little fine moments there. And for me, a club like Chelsea, who me grew up as see in and amongst the top end of the table. Like this level of striker, I get it. He's young. He's to be developed for the future, but you're supposed to have one of the best strikers in the league. And not Tenag, sorry, Pochettino brought him in with the intention of him being number one. So him say him never did want to get in another striker, or maybe may have that them details are wrong here. Can correct me upon that. Feel free to. But he's the only striker, out and out striker at the club right now. Even Fofana gone out on loan. I think he might could have some use as well in the team. But Pochettino decided to go with him as the main man, so him need for up in performances. He definitely need up in performances. And I do know that he's probably been hindered by Nkunku not being there because we did see that link up in a preseason as well. And Nkunku is a player where me did want at City. So I know he is a level raiser for Chelsea, 100%. So I know you would have probably see a better version of Nico Jackson if he was also there.
Mm, for sure, for sure. And like even going back, saying talking about Werner, I think Werner would be better at Chelsea right now than Mudrik. What Mudrik is doing, more experience and ability to actually to beat players. So if Werner was at Chelsea and he playing left wing, like honestly, would prefer that than having Mudrik there right now. But at the same time, Mudrik is young, so he has potential.
It's
But we're talking
fine
about
saying he's young and have potential, but Pochettino need to use him. You get to that point there now where a definitive decision has to be made on him. And next transfer window come up soon, like an answer for Mudrik future has to be like sorted out by there. Like if it's even a bit part role, because right now, like so you have some games where him don't even get on, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and me I hear Pochettino have this thing also where, if the game now go well, then them just sub on every single attacker we have on the bench and say, oh, like just get me a goal. Like, oh, that's the last thing we want to mention. Just I remember a while ago. You said that you would like to see the movement of the players in certain situations improve around Nico Jackson, just like that Kyle Walker, Erling Haaland situation today, right? For
Mm.
me, that is a tactical issue. And I look towards Pochettino for that. Like you supposed to. And maybe that's a bit unfair for me, say, because Pep is my manager and him actually go down to the fine details of them thing here. But Pep, for example, I'm sure, so like Phil Foden on that right hand side, he'll have the guys drilled enough to know that yo, if Phil Foden goes down the wing on the outside, on the right wing, this is the type of run more you make Haaland. When Haaland goes so, this is the type of movement more you make Alvarez. And basically like try for force the play to go in a specific direction so we can get maximum effectiveness outside. So Foden know which part to look for Haaland because that's where Pep did say him supposed to do. Haaland know which part him supposed to stand up and expect the ball because that's what Pep say. And then the next man, Alvarez, him know which gap to go fill in for support Haaland or give Foden the additional option. And then we do the same thing for if Foden beat him man on the inside. You get me I say? So Pochettino now need to actually intensify him tactics then and say, you know what? In these situations, more if you see Jackson get up on the ball in this position, me need you for go so, me need you for go that way, me need you for be next to him so him can play a 1-2 off. Like these types of triangles and setups before the game on the tactics
Yeah,
board.
yeah,
In game, you can't just say, yo, uno a baller, figure it out on the pitch because that not gonna work. That's some other tactics.
yeah. That's true. That's true. That's a fair point. Fair point. But I'm definitely not giving up on Poch yet. It's a long way to go, and I need 2 seasons from him first before I make up my mind. Unless we're in relegation zone, then
But like I say, when you say the same thing about Potter still, some, yo, me I take your words with a grain of salt.
unless we start, bro. Unless we start, from Potter though, I never really saw the promise. I never really saw a major
Mm.
difference from Tuchel ball in Potter, and I
Mane was
think
Potter biggest fan.
I think Chelsea should have kept Potter till the end of the season. I was calling for him to be replaced, right?
Mm.
But only if we brought in a more experienced manager. Replaced Potter and replaced him with Frank Lampard before the Real Madrid match.
Well, you
And that did
replaced
not make
Potter and got in an what we call him an interim manager for
yeah.
that one Liverpool game. That told me that Uno never really have a plan. It was just I think it just got toxic enough to that point where the fans wouldn't back him anymore, or majority of the fans wouldn't back him anymore, and the board wasn't really sure how to deal with the situation, but them know say the too toxic to stay how it is. So them say, you know what? Get in somebody else for the meantime, and then we'll try look who else out there to see out the caretaking job until the end of the season, and it end up with Lampard. Which again, that tell me say on the season they did basically done. I know say him kind of do a thing one time he did it there before getting to fourth place, but all in all, like I think Lampard Premier League a little bit too big for him right now. Build up a craft somewhere else and then potentially come back later on. Even the Everton job, I thought that a lower Premier League team would have been good for him develop him career at, but that completely fell flat on his face. So yeah,
True.
I don't think that was particularly the right move for you guys either.
Especially not before a Real Madrid game, a Champions League game. Sacking the manager and replace with an interim match. That was a poor decision. But
Yeah,
we'll
it,
give it
it
a hit.
it seemed to me like it was just out of ideas because like I said, basically the board for me the board give up on your season the moment you do that because as a new manager coming in to a team that's in turmoil, up against one of the favorites for the Champions League, like what do you think is gonna happen? Realistically, where do you expect for him?
According to Bowley, would have win 3-0.
And on your Pochettino point, I think everything you say is fair on him, and definitely do back him and give him a fair chance. I always say people deserve to dig them on a grave. So if him come in and him not do the business, that different from him coming in and you don't believe in him, so you don't defend him at all. Right? Like I've seen players coming into City where I'm not necessarily for the move, but I'm not going to say, yo, don't play him and rate him because we never want to move happen. Like until my sister you're below the standard, then you have my support as long as you have on the shirt. And I think that's the attitude where Chelsea fans need to adapt right now. Just it might sound bad because of the whole trolling Arsenal thing, but underneath for trust the process right now. Trust say yo Pochettino have a plan and something that go click and then I go continue to run. And at the same time, Pochettino need for backup on the faith with actual results. Not just a 3-0 against Luton Town at home and a 2-1 win over Wimbledon in the second round. Like man, we can't tell the last time we play a second round of the Carabao Cup first of all. Much less. But that's just the point I'm trying to make. Like him actually need to repay on the faith with actual results. And right now, the run of games is good. So the pressure is kinda on because when they have money on him show me the first 10 games, I say, oh yo, things that look good, like fixture wise, for actually get a good start. It's not been the case. For me, we need to get a lot of points now while they
Not
can
looking good, bro.
because when it get to October, November, fam, them fixture they wanna have a come up. St. James's Park. I think we are go Stamford Bridge. Uno go Emirates. Uno have Liverpool, Man U for play Brighton. Like bro,
No, no, we play
it
Liverpool
go get
already.
nasty, fam. Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Play
we play Liverpool
Liverpool.
already, but the fixtures are gonna get nasty. And yeah, you can definitely get points out of those fixtures as well. But if the form and the vibe around the club is still low, then it can definitely be detrimental. Trust me.
For sure. I have faith though. Like performance against Liverpool caused me to have faith in Chelsea. You know that we can put up a performance against a top club. And
Yeah,
it's
true
just
that.
how we need to we need to have different um tactics for different clubs. Because Liverpool obviously is a top club, so they will be attacking us and just they'll have space behind the defense that we can capitalize on. But when we're
Yeah,
playing against smaller rated teams who will defend more deep, need to have different tactics to penetrate in that defense. So
yeah.
it's up to what we will see. We'll see.
And players also rise up for big occasions as well. So that has to be taken into consideration. I remember last season we were going to Stamford Bridge to play you guys. Everybody was saying 4-0, 5-0, because we beat 4-0 in the cup at that point already, I believe. And the match done 1-0, and that was a second half goal, as a matter of fact. That was one of your better performances for the season because everybody did that raise them level because them know say, oh, Manchester City are come through. So I don't think that I gonna really be the difference for later on the season, especially when you have those many games back to back to back. But it should be a point of comfort for you guys.
For sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to go through. Anything else happened with Chelsea that we never touch on?
Um, Apart from injuries, with Chelsea, no, nothing major, really. Yeah,
Okay. Um Also keeping an eye out on Fofana as well. Not so much games in play for Chelsea so far. Because I remember that being a £80 million move, or
80.
something close to that.
I mean,
Something
injury
close to that. 15 games since last season. I know he's been injured. Yeah, I think he's been injured even before the start of this season, and he had his injuries last season as well. But the move overall, underwhelming so far. There
is
was there
true.
was a lot of times where he was playing, even in the Champions League, and I really liked what I was seeing from him. But
Mm,
all in all, man, It's not looking good, bro.
We have to give him time still. Give him time to recover. Because it's definitely possible for him to recover. And
Mm.
yeah, we've seen players recover from injuries. So it's unfortunate we're going through an injury crisis. Should call back Eva Carnero. And yeah, because Chelsea has never been through this much of an injury crisis before.
So
So
you're not concerned about the fact that since Nkunku got injured, well, since Nkunku got injured, it made me realize that there is nobody else in your team who can step in and do the job what him do. Is that not a concern?
it is. And it's just something we have to live with because Chelsea decided to purchase a lot of young players. And obviously, they have a different plan instead of going for it right now. I guess they're doing a future project. So it's definitely concerning, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we will get from these young players in the future.
Mm, cool. And last topic. I know I said we were wrapping up, but just remember a while. Yo, my brain are coming clutch, you know. Whisper. We never talk about Whisper. Why
Bro,
you
right
watch
now,
him?
Whisper, bring Whisper right in the team.
Yo, what me that try to say is Nico Jackson right now. Watch a game, you know. Me know say Whisper same in preferred position is right wing still, but me know say him play all across the front three. And it's possible to get him in on that left hand side and then you have Nico Jackson in the middle. But bro, if that man come in and take Nico Jackson game, you know, or at least start over him and look good, bro. Questions I got asked. And given the current form of Chelsea, I think, you know, when he turns 18 next month, he should be joining up with the first team. But given the current form of the club, you know, in regards to the table and the points and the player performances, he might get an opportunity for play, even in one of the cups. And if he impress, what I've seen from him playing for Jamaica so far, really, really good. In a Jamaica team that is not playing really well right now. Every time I see him, bright spark for the team. So if him get an opportunity and him come on with that same level of impact and hunger, then you never know. You just might force him way into that 11 or at least on the bench.
Facts. Facts. That's facts, bro. Br- Bring him right in. I don't care. Right. Based on what I see, I want bring him right in, bro.
Yeah. Aside from Sterling, he's the only Chelsea player I could say I guess I want to see you do well. Preferably though, somebody comes and takes him from Chelsea, whisper that is, and you know, him start doing thing elsewhere, but yeah. And it's not a secret. Me not like your club. Uno and Man U, Uno can stay on there right now, 12 and 13.
All right, bro. All right. I mean, everybody have them turn,
100%. 100%.
Uh,
Yeah, they have your turn 2 years ago in the final, you know. And me they have to hold it like a G and tug it out. And now days got brighter.
yeah. But dying to see the day when Pep Guardiola left City. See how well Man City can do without him.
It's going to be a sad day, but I think we'll do better than most people think.
Like when Alex Ferguson left Manu.
We are not Manchester United. That's the difference. Since Fergie left Manu and then bring in Mize, who what did Mize what was Mize's job before that Manchester United job?
Everton. Everton.
Yeah. More look on the teams he's been at even before Everton. I say Real Sociedad here. That is after Manchester United. So he was at Preston and then he went to Everton. He was at Everton for a long period of time as well. But clearly wasn't at the ilk of Manchester United manager, like at the level that they needed to be. I think if you look at the signings that we've made with this current board,
Mm.
like I say, majority of them bang. Additionally, I think scouting the next manager already start. I think there's probably already a list with 4, 5, 6 managers there that's constantly being updated as the years go by. Because again, even though 2 years left on Pep deal, he might resign again. Never know. But I think they're currently constantly assessing the next potential manager that they want to get in. And I think that will make the best possible decision for the club when that happens. And you need to remember that before Pep, when we had Pellegrini and we had Mancini, both of them won the league before Pep. So even though I think there will be a drop off, and probably a big drop off as well, because what Pep is doing right now is absolutely insane. And whoever is coming in next, even though they're coming in with a massively good structure around them, they'll need to implement. Well, I think they'll come in playing the same style, but they'll need to implement their brand of it into the team over time. So I think over time will be good. Not as good as right now, but I think we'll be all right. That's my expectation, anyways.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
That's a lot of faith in the board, I know. But based on what I've seen from them, it'd be really a miss of me to not have faith in them. If them I do everything right, the business with them I make, the deals with them I make. Kovacic a play right now like a $60 million signing and it cost 20, 25. So them kind of thing there, and even decision making, what we want Maguire, never mind. We want Fred, yeah, you want go so, no problem. We want Sanchez, you want go Man U, no problem. We want Jorginho, you want go Chelsea, no problem. Like the decisions the way I make, do this, don't do this, get who did want to sign and then put like a wicked price, even Kane want to sign Kane, it get to a point where it got too high, pull out. Like these kind of decisions, other clubs or other boards, I don't think make decisions as efficiently as us. Probably Brighton, in terms of how well that club is run, is probably the only other team would I look on and compare to Manchester City right now. Because they see how them get rid of Potter and then Desiree come in and him never even really need an adjustment period. He just kind of start
Yeah.
at the same time because everything, the foundation already done set and laid. You get in a manager will play a similar style. They don't really. It's not like you bring in a Mourinho style manager now where everything have to go change, the players have to go change, the formation and the tactics have to go change now. I think that is what we would do at Manchester City. A manager similar to Pep, maybe not the same level, but if you know where you are do and you actually have your tactics board sorted out, I think you should be well equipped to get us some success.
Okay. Well, bro, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
But
Definitely.
yeah, not to make this video too long, we already hit an hour and 8 minutes, but I really do appreciate you being here, my brother. And let people them know where them can find you.
All
I
right.
don't already tell them already, but let the people them know.
Yeah, man. You can find channel the JA Dugout is right there on the screen. See JA Dugout. Just search up that in YouTube and you'll find us. Find a plethora of videos that you can watch. So yeah, just search up and make sure to watch our videos. A lot of different
Definitely.
topics that we discuss.
Definitely. And I was actually just on there as well, discussing a topic with them. So when that is out, I'll let you guys know in the community tab. Definitely show them some support on that video. And also, if you do stop by over there, sorry, when you do stop by over there, spam them in the comments and tell Reynolds that him need to play me in a FIFA match. He's Reynolds, by the way. Tell him forward on the channel. I'ma dust him up with City v Chelsea, and he's scared, understandably so. Cause I beat him the last time I play him, but you know everybody deserve a second chance, and we can get something on the channel. Have all the viewers here, and we can see me beat him again. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. Sure. Sure.
It's been a
Sure.
good one so far, though. Please continue to like the videos. They go a long way helping us fight the algorithm. Please help us with subscribing as well. We're currently at 131. We want to get to 300 as quick as possible. You see me? But yeah, until next time, let me know your thoughts in the comments as per usual. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.